What do you do when audiences, critics, and even the star who is portraying your core character are generally unenthused by that character's performance? Well, if you're Kevin Feige, then you turn to a fairly lauded, up-and-coming Kiwi filmmaker with a track record of inherent sincerity, but also irreverence to try and redefine this character and reject this character. Then what do you do when a sturdy and relatively safe film franchise reaches out to you to redefine a character that has been in 4 films and probably more to come? Well, you take everything, if you're Taika Waititi, that is known about that character, his romantic relationship, his surfer looks, his hammer, and his planet, and you break up, cut, blow up, and destroy that everything that pertains to that character. Big swings, probably, but after Thor: The Dark World, you can make as many big swings as you want. Did those swings work out? Well, that's what we're here to discuss. Spoiler alert, it does make this list. Welcome to Poker Vagina's MCU 12. He's not the god of hammers. It's Thor Ragnarok.
Pankody, I just want to say, if nobody sees you using swing a lot in the intro to a Thor
thought
episode,
about that.
I see you.
I thought about that.
I can sing to the cheap seats and to the front seats. I try to go all 4 quadrants. Like, I want you to know that we're here for
Amazing.
everybody. As always, on this wonderful MCU 12 run that is making me watch a lot of MCU films this year, I am joined by Steve in the same space for maybe the last time, unless you guys can bully Steve to stay in Toronto. And
Sad.
across the pond, I'm joined by Ebuka and Jeremiah. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Life has been life, but I'm good.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing he always does.
Yeah.
Steve, should we just go straight into it? Why do you like Thor Ragnarok?
Okay, so I made a bunch of notes before this about why I like this film because I really like this film. Spoiler alert, like I'm one of the reasons why this film is way where it is. Even though we're presenting a unified front, whatever that means.
Why do you feel a need to defend yourself?
Whatever that means. I think some of us just have to, shout for the good guys sometimes. You let them win. But I think when you think about the MCU, and this is what I came down to in my notes, you think, sure, we're making cinema and like good films and whatnot, and we want the best of the best. That's why we get some of these A-list cast members occasionally pop in here and there. Kristen Bale, this is one of them. Kate Blanchett, like this is someone at the top of her game. But we also want to be entertained, right? We want the film that makes us giggle here and there and laugh here and there. And we want to be interested in the action sequences and the fight scenes, and we also want to again feel like we're being taken somewhere else. We're being escapism and whatnot. I think Ragnarok does that very, very well. It does that entertaining thing, and that's probably because of Taika. I mean, I feel like this is a film where he started to lose his mind a bit, and everything after this was just like downhill. But I think
Jojo Rabbit after this.
I think Jojo,
which is on your top form letterbox. So I was like, what are you talking about?
I thought Jojo Rabbit was before this. That's why. But I think this film is very entertaining. I think it's very fun. I think it balances them really well without ever losing sight of the focus of the goal. And at every point in time, I could see that Thor was grieving, and I think that's what we're supposed to feel about the main character. I do think the film suffers from repeating some of the sins that the previous Thor films and the Thor film that came after it committed, but it's entertaining, it's fun, it's funny, and it has good action sequences, and it does all of those things at like near the very top. So
I want to get back to this scene, so please
I'll remind you.
Ebuka, why do you think Thor Love and Thunder is better than the film?
Sorry?
Why do I think what? I've never said that in my life. I've never even had that opinion. So I didn't love this film, right? Partially because I expected or I wanted a different film. It was a good time, don't get me wrong. It was a good film. I would never say it was a bad film, but I expected something different. What I will say is that in the years that have come after, because of seeing how different it was to the previous Thor films, and like you said, those big swings that were taken, I've come to really appreciate this film because the things they set out to do, it did them well. And that's, I guess, the best you can ask for, right? So when I take away my previous expectations of the Ragnarok I wanted versus the Ragnarok I was presented, the Ragnarok I was presented was still very good.
There's quite a few you guys already mentioned, but I think this film kind of combines the best of Phase 1 and Phase 3 Marvel in a sense to, like, I think someone said redefine a character. I think that's exactly what it is. You're able to redefine the identity of the hero in this case and kind of bring him into a position where you can see his future as a potential leader or whatever happened in Thor Love and Thunder, because I'm the opposite of Ibuka here. But whatever happened in Thor Love and Thunder, that was probably, but at least the version of Thor that we get in Infinity War, the version of Thor that we thought we were getting at the end of this movie, I think bringing all that together, the themes that they're able to explore, the fact that it's super fun, the fact that the action sequences are nice, the side characters that are brought into the film, the actors that are brought into the film, the performances, the scenery that we're able to see, and even just are kind of grounded in the cosmology of the MCU at the time, I think, and preparing this character for where he's going to be in the future. I think this film is a very strong entry into Phase 3, and it just combines the best of Phase 1 and 3, in my opinion. That's why I love this film.
Yeah. I think this is there are a few of these movies on our list that kind of ended up around the same area for a few of us. I think the highest of us has it at like 6. I think someone has it at 7, someone else at 8 or 9. So it's like all kind of like in the same area. So it ended up at 9, thanks to Steve's maths program, because I'm surrounded with math niggas. No, I'm gonna say something and then I'll go into the rest of the episode. But like, I went back to rewatch Thor: The Dark World before this, probably for the first time since maybe I rewatched it before Infinity War, maybe. If not, then probably not since like Age of Ultron or something. I went back to rewatch it, and obviously over time, it's kind of got that reputation of being the worst Marvel film. Like, wait, what do you think I was going to say?
Oh, I thought worst Thor film, not worst Marvel film.
I think it's pretty. I mean, to me, it's my worst Marvel film.
I struggle to think of something that would be considered worse within the MCU.
Is easily worse than that.
Oh, Quantumania.
Easily.
I don't know.
Anyway,
if
let's not spend on this.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of give you some of my notes rewatching the Dark World. And normally, I'm a fan of saying like, don't say no pun intended, accept your puns, but this is not a pun. The movie is very dark. The movie looks like the Battle of Winterfell but it's for the entire film.
Yeah.
Like when it started, I thought, oh, okay, it's like Malekith's backstory, so they're making it dark, and then when the movie starts, it will like have some.
No,
it's just dark for the entire. It makes no sense. Like when you go watch Ragnarok after. They're not on Earth. Why is this movie so dark? Like even when the movie, like I get you're in London, you want to make it gloomy. The movie is just dark it makes no sense. Like I was like, I genuinely was so confused.
Yeah.
And then also the main thing is that it's very boring. That movie is very, very boring. Like and this is me, MCU stan. Like I can watch Quantumania today. I think that maybe Quantumania. So at some point, Scott Lang will make me laugh.
Yeah.
Like this movie was bad. Like I was like, oh, and because I wanted to kind of, obviously, a lot of our takes on Ragnarok. I remember when Ragnarok first came out, and the consensus, obviously, people did not like it and everything, like Ibuka said, but consensus was like, thank God for this. Like this movie is really good. But then I think because we're like, oh, Thor: Dark World is terrible, we're gonna love Ragnarok. But so I said, let me go back and actually see the headspace I was in 2017 after watching Ragnarok and then Ultron. So after watching Dark One, I was like, oh yeah, this movie is bad.
Yeah.
This movie is, I do not think there's a redeeming quality in this movie. And I started feeling bad for Natalie Portman. I was like, you've been in 3 MCU films and 2 are bad.
Love Story was good in that, wasn't it?
It was okay.
Oh.
But the actors are trying.
Yeah.
Like Chris and Natalie are doing excellent. The chemistry is there. You can tell. Like they are doing their
I
best.
thought that was the one that had their love story being most like.
To be fair, I don't remember much about Thor 1. I remember like Thor 1 is okay to
The
me.
one was when they met.
Yeah,
I fell asleep rewatching Thor: The Dark World, and then I woke up and I thought I was watching an epilogue. Like I woke up in the middle of the film. That's how like dark and boring. And
Yeah,
slow the
like
film is.
I was falling
I feel
asleep,
like
and I don't
it's
fall
bad.
asleep during movies. Like it's
I feel like every memory I have of trying to watch The Dark World is me falling asleep. I find it very hard to complete that movie in one sitting.
so yeah. It's not. It's so I think that watching that and then watching Ragnarok made me appreciate how good Ragnarok is. Like it took me back to my mindset in 2017. I was like, oh, you've actually done something incredible here,
Yeah, it's fun.
because it's like making. I don't know how to put it, because First Avenger is not as bad as Dark World, but like if you go and make Winter
It's like
their
it's
version
like
of
having Batman 99 or 98, and then the next
Yes.
Batman movie is The Dark Knight.
yes, exactly.
Literally.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's actually perfect. That's actually a perfect analogy. Yeah, it's like going from Clooney to Dark Knight. So it's just like,
Yeah.
wait, what just happened here? What happened? And doing it in like 3 years in between. Okay, so we are entering our top 10. We are in our top 10 right now. So I think most people listening will have an idea of what our films are. I'm going through the list, and none of you have really got the order yet. So thank God to our bank account. So what we're doing now, if there's a movie that you think is going to come up in this list, because you can probably, at this point, you can probably guess what our top 9 or 10 is, even though you don't
You
know
say
the
that
order.
every time, and I'm like, no.
No, I
bro,
think you
it's
can
hard.
guess it. Anyway, but
It's hard because we have some people here that hell bent on making it hard. For
oh
no
my God.
reason.
You're talking about yourself.
So that's
It's
why
so
it's
weird talking
hard.
about yourself like in that kind of
Says
fashion.
some people. Just
Anyway,
put that SpongeBob meme.
it's like, yeah, like wanted maniac. So I would say to anyone listening, if you have a take about a movie that you think is going to come up or whatever, you can write to us. You can send us a voice note to popcornfordinnerpod@gmail.com, and we will try to like discuss it on the podcast or whatever. Obviously our recording is a bit, because as Jerry said, life is live, so sometimes our recording is weird, so it might come late, but like we'll also try to discuss it on the podcast. On that note, I kind of reached out to the biggest Thor fan I know, which is Robert. Ebuka, you know Robert very well. Jerry, believe you know Robert. You at least know Robert because you guys were in the same school. Steve. I reached out to Robert and I was like, why do you like Thor Ragnarok? And this is what he sent to me.
So I think there's quite a few reasons for Ragnarok. I think one, it was just probably the first movie within the cinematic universe that just blended the funny, the serious, the interesting, and it was a perfect blend as well. It was also the first movie that humanized Thor properly. I think most of the time he was seen as like this gruff, I'm going to beat everyone and smash everyone. But I think he lost his dad. His whole thing was Loki and losing his planet. I think it was the first time that he became king, and for him that was like a massive thing. And then there was no Jane in it as well, which was weird. So he had no love interest, which was kind of good as well. I think it took away from that whole thing, because like you never really think of Thor as this person with like a love interest. Like you think of him as how you saw him in Ragnarok. Like it's just like this Asgardian that has like the weight of everything on his shoulders and has to like be there for everyone and be the guy for everyone. So the love story wasn't there to like mar everything, and I think that's what made it better for me. And I sound like such a such a Grinch to love. I love love, but sometimes like it's not needed. And yeah, I think the characters as well. Like I think everyone just came in nicely. Oh yeah, Hulk as well. Like let's not forget that. Like his presence and like him being Hulk as well, and it showed the fights that Hulk was having within Banner and the fight that Banner was having within himself about trying to tame this beast inside him, when actually the beast just wanted to be accepted and wanted to be loved for him and just wanted to fight, like, and that was it. But yeah, and obviously with Valkyrie as well, like she gave a different angle as like someone who'd been like loyal servant to the throne and just gave up after the throne wasn't there for her. And also it just showed the truth about Odin, about his whole past and the kind of person he was. Like, I feel like that whole movie just exposed so much more of the lore of like Thor and Odin. Odin was shown as like the Odin that like we all know him to be, and then Hela as well. And I think bringing in Fenrir, like just so much like just came into that movie and like just made it like feel so much more. So yeah, that's why.
Guys, I'm sorry.
Isn't it?
He cooked us. He cooked us. That was a
Yeah,
really
no.
good rundown of why this movie is great.
Should we end the podcast there? Like, it's just like he's done the podcast in 2 minutes. I think if you have to say, guys, don't worry, I love love, you might have to turn to your wife and be like, maybe assure her a little bit more. Because like you have to say I love love.
That part was funny.
Do you, based on, is there anything you can talk about from that voice note? Any like thing that you want to kind of?
I think Robert makes some very amazing points that were probably in the back of my mind, but weren't at the front. The amount of good world building this movie does is insane. And the point about Hulk is also really, really important, right? Like, this is also a good Hulk supporting role. I know there's been conversations about the Hulk we get in the MCU, but this movie was a really, really good Hulk role. And yeah, like the amount of world building about Asgard, Odin, Hela, even Valkyrie's character, I think is an important aspect of the whole Asgardian mythology. Those are my takeaways from that.
I think, sorry, just to jump in, because it's interesting you mentioned the Hulk thing. Like, I definitely, one of my notes here was like, we really need a Hulk movie purely because every time we see him, something else is going on, and there's so much that we're missing from movie to movie. But anyway, we'll get that. But I think he's spot on with a lot of the analysis he's talking about, and something that I was probably going to bring out is actually the role that Asgard plays in the realm, but also the representation of Asgard we've had. So something you mentioned, which is true, is this movie kind of strips down the idea of Thor, and everyone can see it. You strip out the aura, strip out the regalia, take out Mjolnir as well, and say, who's the man? It's kind of the same thing that Iron Man has to do in Iron Man 3, and he tells Spider-Man as well, like, they actually have to build up the man behind the suit for the hero to actually level up after they've done the persona. So it's very different from a phase 1, very different from an origin story, but it's now you've created this identity of this hero or this person, but what does that actually mean? And Thor is growing into being a king. But beyond that as well, it's actually putting Asgard itself on the hot seat. There's themes of imperialism and empire here. Like, people probably didn't really think of Asgard as a colonial power, like literally colonizing the rest of the 9 realms and stopping some way, then becoming benevolent at some point. It's looking at the impact that he has. It's looking at you can compare that to anything today, like putting the perspective of your war is not my war kind of in front of the viewer. Like, Thor has to come to grasp with the idea that everything that is so big to him, everything that is so important to him is actually insignificant in the grand scheme of things to a lot of other people. And that's probably one of the places where Valkyrie's character, I mean, there's a lot that we can talk about and how he tries to connect to her. I don't know how much we're going to go into theme by theme in this movie, but the whole thing of the identity of Thor as a hero, the identity as an Asgardian, Asgard's place in the cosmos, the importance of this story in particular to the Infinity War saga. There's so much that you can bring out. So when people are like, oh, this movie kind of broke down everything that made Thor, I disagree. I think it stripped out the costume, but it definitely focused on who actually is, like, what does it actually mean? Who is Thor? Where is he from? What does this mean to us? And where is he going? Like, it actually, if anything, it builds up the character for me a lot more.
Do you have anything else from the voice note you want to touch on?
I just understand his beef with Jane, but he's not the only one that has said that.
Well,
I know it's a thing online. Like, a bunch of people feel the storyline is unwarranted and it would be better off without it.
I would speak for Robert, but also kind of my own thing. I don't think it's like a problem with the Jane relationship, but I think maybe it just necessarily
it mars it.
Sorry, let me say that again. It's not a problem with Jane. It's a problem with the relationship. Like, I guess it just never really worked.
Yeah, I get that.
I remember in my research for this, I found out that, like, obviously, when they first originally were writing this story, the idea was to have Valkyrie as a romantic partner. But then they were like, we have Valkyrie here. If the story takes us there, we will go. And it just never took them there. Like, it just never felt right to have Valkyrie and Thor be romantic. Yeah. And I think with Jane, it was like they started with the idea of romantic. and had to reverse engineer. I just think it just never really
Okay.
worked. Again, both actors I think have always done their parts.
Yeah.
Like I think, not to bring up Love and Thunder again, I think the sequence where we see their relationship break down is the best sequence of that film. Like, I think when you see them in love and then they're dating and then they start breaking, like that whole Thor and Jane thing is excellent. I remember just being in awe of that. So, but I want to talk about, I mean, the voice note kind of covered a little bit of the points I had is right as well. I'm actually very surprised and happy that you said about Hulk, because I thought you would be one of the guys that didn't like Hulk in this film. So yeah, I'm actually happy that you said that about Hulk, because so one of my favorite quotes, I'll just jump a few seconds ahead just because Jerry mentioned, one of my favorite quotes is when Hela says, proud to have it, ashamed of how he got it. Right. It's basically every colonial power.
Yeah.
It's basically London. It's basically like the UK in their museums. Like they put these things up, but they don't want to actually talk about how they got it right. And I wrote in, I can't remember what year.
Or the
maybe
Commonwealth.
Yes. After Black Panther came out, I wrote about. I didn't go back and read it because you might as well roll me through glass if you make me read an article for 5 years ago. I don't have the energy. That's going to be too painful for me. But the title was, it's not just you, even superheroes have daddy issues, right? It was the idea of these superheroes kind of realizing who their fathers were. It was Tony and Howard, but to more of an extent, it was Thor and Odin. It was T'Challa and T'Chaka. Right, especially with Odin. Let's focus on Odin since we're doing this here. Is the idea that like Thor has this idea of his father for 1,500 years he's lived, and he believes that his father is this benevolent king and rules the 9 realms with like kindness and everything. But then you realize that no, actually he was insert colonizer here. Like he was this wicked, and like realizing him and also, I guess, humanizing him as well, because he did a head change of hearts. He wanted to improve, but like the idea that Odin wasn't who we thought and also who Thor thought. I thought it was just, I really think is one of the smartest ideas that the film kind of inserts. This idea of our parents are not who they think we are, but also just idea of colonizing and like their colonial past, their imperial pasts, and trying to whitewash it. Like he literally tries to whitewash it. Like he literally puts another mural over it, right? Like it's so funny, you know, like he puts the Jotunheim king like a peace treaty. Like, bro, like you were assaulting, you stole their son. Like, what are you doing? No, so I thought, I remember watching, I was surprised at the film, because I think, not to be an MCU glazer, but that's what we're doing in this podcast, I think it's like a big idea to put into the film. Mm-hmm. And they didn't just put it around the way, they actually discussed it. So, and obviously T'Challa does it again as well with T'Chaka when he's talking about leaving Sterling K. Brown and all that stuff. So no, I really did kind of like the idea of that in this film.
I think my only issue with that is I think sometimes we let these characters. Okay, so when I said earlier scenes with Thor, I think things with the Thor character in the MCU have always felt a bit unnatural, or a bit like there's like different forces happening at play. I think when T'Chaka dies in Civil War, T'Challa is allowed to grieve. Like he's allowed to be mad. He's allowed to act out and all of that. When Tony finds out his dad's already dead, but when he finds out about his dad's death in also that was also Civil War.
Yeah.
Wow, a lot of people were dying in Civil War.
Yeah.
But when he finds out about the death in Civil War, he's allowed to act out. I think with Thor, we don't really get to, like, they don't let him go through the motions and go through the process. He's obviously devastated and he wants to kill Loki immediately, and then Hela appears and all of that stuff happens. But then he has to like grapple with the fact that this, like, it's all taking place very quick after each other. Like, so that's just my only.
So just to, sorry, let's clarify your point. They don't allow him grieve, like find out about his father, or just everything he's lost?
They don't allow him go through what he's lost, like go through the process with what has just happened.
Okay, so my response to that, because I thought about this, because I've seen this take, and I don't necessarily agree, because my response to that is that that's what he does in Endgame. Like, his grieving is in Endgame.
Endgame is about what everyone has lost.
No, but like, for Thor, it has, like, he has because everything happens. I mean, look, not
Infinity
to,
War happens really quickly right after this.
yes, Infinity War
Yeah.
happens the next second. The next second, the ship appears, right,
Yeah.
and then all of that happens. I think because not to make this podcast about, I guess we're making it about grief. Let's do it. It's like if you're in the moment of it, right?
Yeah.
You're not necessarily going to be like, okay, guys, I need to pause the world because I need to go to a corner and grieve, right?
Yeah.
It's like everything just keeps on happening.
Yeah.
So your only it's fight or flight. Your response is to just keep on doing it, keep on going through it. And then the moment you have a second, everything hits you at once and you break down. And that's what happens in Endgame. Once he kills Thanos and he's lost, like when he kills Thanos, like the fake Thanos, not fake Thanos, but the old Thanos, he kills him, then everything hits him. He goes into depression. He starts playing games. He becomes fat. It's like because he has moments of it in Infinity War as well when he's talking to
subjectivity, Banky.
Maybe, I mean, everything is art. Everything is subjectivity.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, there is no space. And I'm sorry, guys, I feel like I'm taking too much oxygen. You're talking about grief. But like, it's like, there is no space. He has some moments in Infinity War as well, right? When he's talking to Rocket, where he's cracking the joke, but at the same time, he's like, he's kind of saying what has happened. And it's like, it's one of those moments where you say it, as you say it, you kind of realize the
his brother died, and then
the other day I was having a conversation with somebody, right? And I was saying all the things, and not this is not about grief. So I was just saying a bunch of things, and they were like,
"Are you okay, bro?"
No. But like, I was saying a bunch of things, and then they were like, "Oh wow," and I was like, "Oh yeah, actually, it's only when I say it out loud that I have the mental list of everything." And you're like, "Oh, actually, that's all of that stuff, right?"
Yeah.
And I think there is no like. He lands in Sakaar after his dad dies. He goes to save Asgard. He gets on the ship. Thanos comes. Thanos kills everybody he knows.
Yeah.
The Guardians get him. He has to go get Stormbreaker. He has to go to Wakanda. Thanos destroys the Earth. There is no space in there to be like, hey guys, unless you're going to be like Shiv and like schedule like your 5 minutes grieving time. like there's no
reference. Okay, fair enough.
Surprisingly, not my only Succession reference of this episode. So I think the idea that like people say, oh, he doesn't get to grieve, I've always thought it was a bit unfair because like if you're looking at the MCU storyline as one continuous story, like
yes,
it's like
which I am.
It's like it's like there is no real space to grieve here, but he does like let's not be unfair to the MCU writers. He does get his space to grieve, and he does that in Endgame, like which is why I think he's sorry, Jerry. I'll just wrap up with this. I've always thought his descent in Endgame made sense because he had lost more than everybody else. Yeah, he had just lost more than everybody else.
His Loki died.
Yes, Loki, Heimdall, his dad, Asgard. He had just flat out lost more than everybody else.
He had Asgard. This film made...
No, but he still lost a lot of them on the ship. That's what I'm trying to say. Thanos wipes out like half of them. So like he had lost
literally
the most.
half of the people.
Yeah, so it made sense. Anyway, so Jerry, sorry, I'm taking too much oxygen.
Oh no, it's kind of a second. I just wanted to add that he does like, as much as he doesn't have time to really go into like living with his grief or think about it, it does slip out in moments through the film. Like there's that scene in the elevator with Loki where he's just kind of like resigned to Loki will always be who Loki is. There's moments where he's still trying to hold on to the idea of Asgard to connect with Valkyrie, but there's moments where the veil kind of breaks, where he even like he voices his frustration with Loki, basically telling him, "This is all your fault. You put our dad, stripped of his powers in Earth, and he died, and now Hela is taking over, and we're stuck in Sakaar, and we need to go back, but you don't even want to go back because you're thinking of how you can still take over this current place that we're in right now instead of going back to save the people that need your help." Like he's still so frustrated, and it's all building up, but he's focused on again this idea of the responsibility he has as Thor, and all of that. After saving every single person, he loses half of them anyway. So like the anger he has in Infinity War is justified. And even after working through that anger to finally do what he thought would save the universe and bring this vengeance that he's looking for, because he's quite open about that in the film. He calls them not the Avengers, the Revengers. Like he says, "I'm looking for revenge." And he gets his revenge, and it's not enough. Half the universe is still like wiped out, and it's kind of like fruitless. It makes sense that he goes straight to depression. So that's where I'm like, the version that we see in Thor: Love and Thunder, it's like there's a regression between the version he grows into here, but it kind of like when you put it this way, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
like
let's not talk about Love and Thunder. Let's not talk about
we're not going to go into that. There's still a lot, even. Just on the themes that we were discussing now, there's still a lot to talk about with what we loved about this film. Like those themes, like the mess, because something Ibuka said. Oh, who said something about stripping down the elements of at the start, even the intro you gave, stripping down the elements of what made it Thor what we love. The truth is, for a lot of people, Thor was like, yeah, I guess this is another one of the Avengers. He looks nice. It's Chris Hemsworth. That's about it. Thor: The Dark World, absolutely horrible. So this movie had a big job to get people interested in Thor again. But I don't agree that it strips out what made the Thor movies. Let's think about Sins of the Father. Sins of the Father is there in Thor 1, Loki's parentage, and the whole thing with the Frost Giants. Sins of the Father is there in Thor 2 with the history between Odin and Malekith as well, with the Aether and the war that they had, and then obviously we learn more about it with the Asgard's rule in colonizing the Nine Realms. Sins of the Father is very evident in Thor 3 as well. There is the idea of reverence and secrecy for authority, like the people of Asgard revere their monarchs, for lack of a better term. There's a lot of secrecy in the history of Asgard that the people might not necessarily, some of them might be, some of them might not be party to, and we see how this film kind of like puts that on the hot seat for us to look at how that really doesn't work. If you simply have a power that is in place because it's supposed to be and you have reverence for it, but there's no sort of like justification for its existence, then that's something that can be exploited over time. Case in point, Loki exploits it all the time. I think one theme that has actually been consistent through all the Thor movies and is very, very evident in this film is that idea of reverence and secrecy preventing growth and innovation. Like it's strong, and all those aspects of the Thor movies have been consistent. I think the only thing he did is remove essentially the adornment. It's like, I don't know, this would be a WWE reference, but there's a promo where Adam Cole basically like buries Karen Cross by saying they've given you the core insurance, they've given you the girl to walk in with, they've given you the smoke, they've given you everything, and then you're still not as good. I'm paraphrasing. You're still not the guy, because when it comes down to it, bell to bell, they ring the bell. People love me because of what I can do in the ring. They've given you everything to tell us that you're the guy, but your matches just don't match up. And that's just like, he's taking the regalia, he's taking away the costume, he's taking him out of Asgard and said, let's build you. Let's build the idea. And he still kept the themes in place. And then he's brought back together this idea of a king, a new nation, a better nation, hopefully. But then obviously the grieving still has to happen, because then everything that just happens from that point is just, and it sets up, the rest of phase 3 and 4. So,
go ahead.
I was going to say something really stupid, but look at that. That's like wonderful insight. And my thought on this was, damn, Kate Blanchett kind of bad.
Do you know the issue there? No, but do you know the issue? It's just because I think Ebuka, now we've done 5 episodes of this now. We are making a Poker for Dinner podcast.
I did not know she had all of that.
Yeah, we're just making who we are.
So what's the end?
While removing the TCA and putting the PFD.
She bad.
I want to talk about Hulk before we go into the category. So Ebuka, you've obviously mentioned him. I guess do you have anything about Hulk that you kind of want to mention? Maybe from when you first watched it.
So I really like the point Robert made, right, where he said this movie really explores that dichotomy between Hulk and Banner and the eternal fight that Banner has to get rid of Hulk. Because I feel like this isn't really shown a lot in the MCU, but in the comics and even in the TV show, it is a big deal that Banner hates Hulk. Like,
which TV show? The animated show?
Yes, the animated show.
Wait, were you on the streets like that?
Yeah. Oh, my mom. Oh, don't even get me started.
Wait, is it the one where in the intro, like he's on the desert and then he runs to save like a rat or something?
And
in
the desert.
Oh my
God,
God!
That was my first favorite TV show as a child. Like,
fair enough.
Hulk was my shit.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not new to this, but basically it's very clear in like other forms of media that Banner really hates the Hulk. And he hates becoming the Hulk. He hates everything, how the Hulk has ruined his life. And in this movie, you get to see things from the Hulk's perspective. Like, he's somewhere where he can do what he loves or what he feels is the only thing he can do well, which is smash things and fight. And he's happy. And he's thinking to himself, why the fuck should I surrender control to Banner, who hates me and wants to suppress me, blah, blah, blah. And I just really enjoyed the dynamic between the Hulk we get the Thor we get and them learning to work together. Like, it doesn't have to be that Hulk is this crazy beast. Even though I love when Hulk is Hulk, right? It doesn't have to be that Hulk is this crazy beast that's unreasonable and Banner is the only one that can work with a team. I like the Hulk we got in this film. And that's why I say I think it's a good Hulk film, because they explore the psyche of the Hulk. And that's how we get to a point which, although some people are not happy, and maybe I am with them, where you have like smart Hulk in Endgame, that's how we get to that point. I just really enjoyed that we at least had the exploration in this film. So not everything the MCU does is thoughtless and pointless, right? Like, things follow a sensible line most times.
I just remember Jerry mentioned earlier about getting a Hulk film. The reason we don't have a solo Hulk film is a rights issue with Universal, if I do remember correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more thing, but this is a weird thing. I was going through my notes, my WhatsApp, my iPhone notes, and I saw a note from like 2021 where I was planning out an article in the heap of unrealized articles I have, where I was going to talk about Thor, Ragnarok, and In the Heights, which is the Lin-Manuel Miranda musical. It's kind of, the idea was, because in that musical, Usnavi, who is the main character, is kind of trying to get back to Puerto Rico, and he kind of idealizes this version of Puerto Rico that he never really had. Like, his parents had it, and he left there when he was a child or something. And it was this idea of, and then he eventually stays in New York, but like, it was the idea of the Asgard is not a people, is a place thing, of like, you idealize the actual sand and stone and everything, but really it's the people. It was going to be an article about connection and meeting people and your real kind of place of being with the people that you're spending time with. Take my hand. Yes, connection.
I don't know what the hell going on.
That's the clip. That's the clip. Okay, so before we get into categories, I was going to make a category for this, but I couldn't figure it out. So I'll just ask the question right here. Is Hela stopping and destroying Mjolnir the singular biggest villain flex ever?
That's my letterbox entry for this film. It's just that. It's like, you know, when people say, because Kanye is cancelled now, but when you want to argue about Kanye being cancelled, like, but he made Graduation. This is he made Graduation for Taika, man. Like, he made Ragnarok. He made that moment. And I cannot think of like 5 more shocking
Is that a bigger villain flex? She just destroyed Mjolnir on the spot.
So,
like,
so that is the thing.
Fuck.
I actually have a controversial opinion. I think her doing that is probably on par with Vision picking up the hammer, because the amount of shit.
I think this
I agree. It's not controversial. I agree. But it's different sides. I
don't think it's controversial at all.
Yeah.
But I think it was like someone picking up the hammer is like, okay, you're worthy. Someone destroying the hammer is like, that's fucking possible.
Very easily as well. First of all, when she stopped it, I was already shouting.
Already? She breaks it. Like, wait, what's going on?
What is happening? And she's like, boy, you have no idea what's possible. I'm like...
Bro, Loki was shook. Loki was like, can we get out of here?
Yeah.
Loki said, I'm not staying to fight. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
Since you asked that, I had that whole, not just the hammer, but her entire entrance. I think this movie. Okay, so one thing you can say with this movie, every character was Aura Maxon to the core. I don't even know how best to put it. But when you think about the reviews, I had that in my head, like which reviews, which like entrances were the best throughout this film, and I think without a doubt, just Hela's intro was perfect, because Odin is like, it's too late, she's coming, and as soon as he disappears, like, we don't even have time. Next thing, as he's going, she's coming, and she gets straight to business. Like, it's perfection.
Let's not even within the context.
Are we going to talk about how much of a pussy Odin is? Or
I was
is
going to
that
say,
not
on a different podcast, we spent 2 hours talking about Odin, because Jesus Christ, man, what a father.
Odin was scared of her, rightfully so. Like, it's been like that's been that since time. She was going stronger.
Yeah,
and stronger.
Do you know how crazy this use your life force to imprison her? Because, you know, the only moment she comes out, you're no longer there. Like, you cannot handle that smoke. It's like, for her to be out, I have to be dead. So, like, it's not my business anymore. Oh my God, what a terrible man.
But no, just based off of what Jerry just said, like, I think in the intro for this whole series, Ibuka had said something about how we have Anthony Hopkins, we have Kate Blanchett, we have good people. Like, this is a film that has, like, is directed by Taika in his good time. It has Kate Blanchett.
It's one bad movie. Like, let's not write the guy out.
So
like, he can still make movies.
It's made by Taika before whatever happened, and it has Kate, and it has Jeff Goldblum. It has Anthony Hopkins. It has like really good actors in it. And granted,
Carl
it's like,
Urban, by the way.
Yeah.
Whoever that
At
is.
some point I realized
boys,
is that Billy
Billy
Butcher?
Butcher.
I didn't know his name, but like I said, I'm like, oh, that's Butcher, but I didn't know his name. It has Heimdall, Idris Elba. Basically, it has a bunch of good actors, and so I see certain scenes, like the scene where the Hulk and Banner and Hulk are fighting like themselves, like, and I'm like, oh, that's really good filmmaking. And the scene where Valkyrie, like the flashback scene, I'm like, I didn't know Taika had that name. I truly didn't. I'm like, oh, that's really good filmmaking. And just like little like bits of moment here where Jeff is chittering with Tessa Thompson, and like you take it for granted, but obviously like when you rewatching it and taking it as a film, not even just MCU, this is really good filmmaking and acting and stuff like that. So I think times like that as well, when we get films like this, it's not always, but you realize like these are good, like they're objectively good.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum, I thought would annoy me on rewatch, but I actually surprised how much I enjoyed him. I really enjoyed him on the rewatch. Okay, let's do our categories. Let's try and be as quick as possible. Best quotes. Does anyone have any? I've probably said one of mine. Another one is just friend from work. I think we all know the story behind friend from work. You don't know the story behind friend from work? Okay, wait, let me just say, for anyone who doesn't know the story for friend from work, I think there was a sick kid at visiting said that day when we were shooting the scene between Thor and Hulk, and then the kid was like, oh, you should say that he's a friend from work. So that's why Thor said it.
Oh, that's cute.
Really?
Oh,
Fair enough.
If that's fake news, then I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that's
It's
the story.
true.
we're gonna keep it as canon, okay? Like we don't, we like
well,
that.
fair.
But
yeah.
My favorite quote is something inspirational,
Okay.
and it's when Odin says to, it's Odin that does say it, right, to Thor, where he says, are you the god of thunder or the god of hammers? And the reason why is because I'm still waiting to find out what my thunder is. And, life is a long, long road. One day I'll find out what my thunder is. But right now I feel like the god of hammers.
So you're the god of
Until
hammers.
I figure-
What are your hammers? Excel sheets, PowerPoints?
I can't say.
fine.
No comment, but very,
your thunder,
very,
your thunder
very
is
close.
this cinema. Your thunder is this cinema as the producer of this
True,
cinema. Do you? Yeah.
true.
Okay.
So
I like
to
that.
throw that in, just to throw it in, I think that's another thing the Thor movies and Loki do very well. It's the idea of, like, at every stage you're reinventing the identity of the person, right? Like, Loki is the god of mischief until he becomes the god of stories. Thor is the god of hammers until he truly becomes. He's literally the prince of Asgard before he becomes the god of thunder, but it's really hammers. Then he becomes actually the king of Asgard and god of thunder. Like, we're constantly watching these characters grow. So you can be the god of something now, and at some point, like, it changes, and you just realize it's changed.
It changes as your character grows as well.
Oh no,
Yep.
no. So Steve said under his breath that that's not a good thing. And I want to discuss that. You don't think it's a good thing for reinvention?
My God. Okay. I really don't want to talk about. I said you should let it go. But
No, but I want to talk about on the podcast.
I gave my intro.
Start
I
it,
said
because
the
like
sins.
I actually like.
The sins that the previous Thor films make, you've done it before. You've taken away his hammer before. That's a thing. Like when we were introduced to this character in the MCU, he had
didn't
his
have
hammer. It wasn't. No, he had like when the first time we saw the character.
Yeah.
he had his hammer.
to
Right?
prove
It's not a
worthy.
thing where he had to come up with it or he had to create it. So he had it already, and so you take it away, and we see all of that. Let that, like, that should have been the last time, man. Like, they took away Tony's suits,
But
he had
he's
to prove that he was more than his suit, and you did that one time, and we never had to see it.
no,
again.
but his job in 1 is to get back to the hammer.
Okay.
In 3 is to realize that he doesn't need the hammer.
No, his job in but in 1 it's to prove that like
he's worthy to hold the hammer. So he still believes.
And so he has to use his own abilities to
be a
get
good person.
to there.
Yeah, but then
You say that like he's
no, but I'm saying like he's like 1 and 2 and whatever are showing that like he still needs the hammer. It's just like you're a good person independently of the hammer.
Yeah.
But in 3 it's like you don't need the hammer. The thunder is in you. Like the hammer is not a thing.
I just feel like all of this, like I get what you're saying, but I feel like it's part of a broader problem which DC faces with Superman as well, whereas you have a guy who can literally do it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who is a god compared to these mere mortals he's shooting him against. So it's like, how do we bring him down to the same playing field?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that that's a problem, and it's why it's a bit harder maybe to write like a good Thor film in the same way that it might be a bit harder to write a good Superman film. And so I find that they're constantly limiting him. You might not agree, or it might seem like, okay, like, oh, maybe some of these guys are really other strong. But if they were playing Thor to the version that we know Thor can be, this films would be like 5 minutes.
Ebuka,
and so
sorry, go ahead, finish, sorry.
And so they're finding ways. That's how I think. And so you create these really creative stories of, find his way back to the hammer, or proof that he's without the hammer or whatever. But what it ends up doing is limiting him. As we saw, where he had to go back to his dad and say, I don't know how to do it. And so his dad made him, conjure up lightning or whatever and do all. That was how he was able to.
No, but like, okay,
but he's being limited.
Okay.
Because without it, there wouldn't be a film. So I just feel they've done this before. Do something
It's more
else.
he thinks he's limited, and I like that you said that, because I kind
if
of
he thinks he's
agree to a
limited, then
point,
he is
but I
effectively
think-
limited in practice.
Yeah, but I agree
Yeah.
to a point, because we'll probably even have to go back to the quotes. There is a quote that I just remembered where Odin tells him that up to this point, the hammer has actually been to limit and control him, to control his abilities, help him focus it, because the hammer is him learning to be Thor. I think the best way I can answer that is to like try and squeeze in my parallels between Iron Man 1, Thor 1, Black Panther, Thor 3,
As long
Iron
as you
Man
keep it
3,
quick, I'm just
Spider-Man,
gonna-
everything. Yeah, I'll try and keep it quick. So like, if you look at the first movies for both of them, origin stories, you have these two arrogant characters who just kind of are princes of their worlds, princes of their domain, and they're forced to reckon with the responsibility that's on their shoulders and the impact of their actions. So they're forced to see what's going on the ground, and somehow they build into this identity, this moniker of this hero that now knows better, but hasn't exactly fully learned. Like Tony has now created the Iron Man character. Thor has adopted that I'm not just the Prince of Asgard, I'm actually a protector of Asgard and of the Nine Realms. And they start to build into that into 2. So Iron Man 2 and Thor 2, you see them actually just protecting the area and being heroes. But in 3, for both of them, you kind of have to strip away the identity. Like I keep hammering this point. You strip away, what you've done is you've created this identity that puts you as a protector, but now you've trapped yourself in this identity, thinking that identity makes you the protector. By the end of the movie, but through the movie, Thor has to do away with those elements that he thinks makes him Thor. Iron Man has to build everything from scratch all over again. They both have to deal with in one they both have to deal with kind of familial insurgents. In 3, they have to deal with external insurgents as well, even if it's still kind of familiar for Thor. But they have to come back to a position where Thor has to let go of the idea of what he thought Asgard was. Iron Man has to let go of building an army of suits and actually focus more on himself and his relationships and what he's actually fighting for, as opposed to having Mark 1 to Mark 50, if that makes sense. Even Spider-Man has to come to that same realization. By the end of Spider-Man 3, he has to do away with the identity of Spider-Man and forget about all the stock tech and essentially start from scratch. Like, these themes are consistent with the stories that we get in phase 1 and phase 3. So I think that idea of, it's not like they're just stripping him of the hammer again. There's a different reason why we're taking it away. It's like, we had to teach you that you're not just someone that was born, you're not just this Nepo baby that has like all the riches and you're going to grow into becoming the leader of Stark Industries and the king of Asgard. There is a responsibility that comes with it. You accept that, but now you have lived with yourself trapped in this prison of identity, and now you need to break free of that to actually be able to take on the responsibility better. So you're leveling off the hero by allowing them to go through a different phase of it. Like, teach them to not depend on it, and then teach them to not depend on it again. And that's kind of like how I'm seeing. That's why I think that it's still important. But yeah,
that's fair.
Also,
I think Ibrahim, were you about to say something?
No. It was just to buttress what Jerry said.
Okay, let's run through categories. I think we'll touch on anything else we want to go through. Best scene. We can just be very quick.
Action and non-action.
Action and non-action. I'll just say mine, and anybody can say they have the same. My best action scene is the God of Thunder scene. So it's like, are you the God of Thunder? And then him fighting Hela and all of that stuff. That's my best action scene. Different action scene from you guys? Thor and Hulk, maybe somebody?
I think this is one of those rare movies where I think it's actually worth maybe 2 action scenes. Right?
That's fair,
yeah, I love that one. I love Thor and Hulk.
I love Thor and Hulk.
Yeah, no, I think... Yeah. So my follow-up actually is not even Thor and Hulk, but Jerry, so go ahead.
One that I think is very underrated is the Valkyrie scene, because I think it does 2 things. It gives us the backstory into why Valkyrie, like the realization Valkyrie had that. It kind of is.
If it was binary, then it would be
action and non-action, but it gives us the kind of insight into Valkyrie's realization, like what, because she literally says, "I'm not getting involved in another one of Odin's family squabbles," and it's true. Like, as a foot soldier or an Imperial stormtrooper, some guy has beef with someone in another country, and now you're fighting a war that you don't actually care for, and now everyone you know and care for is dead. It makes no sense. But you see that, and it also gives us Hela, because Hela is insanely powerful, and it's not just breaking Mjolnir, it's the fact that she can take on an entire army on her own, because she just like spawns as many weapons as she needs and kills everyone in like a few seconds. It's insane, and we see that, and obviously the visuals for that scene are beautiful. That is one of my favorite action scenes in the film, actually.
Ebuka, what's your favorite non-action scene?
Ooh, I think I already alluded to it, right? I was going to say the vision with Odin.
Yeah, okay. Jason, what have your favorite non-action?
Because I like Heimdall, I'm sure this was the last time I mentioned him. I didn't know that he could do that.
Do what? Fight?
No, not fight. I didn't know.
Oh, as in talk
Good
to
point.
you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't know
okay.
that. Maybe I should have known that, but that was my favorite non-action.
Okay, so mine is I've always liked the elevator scene. I think that's the scene that's been thrown on my YouTube page the last 7-8 years the most.
Yeah.
Yes.
But on rewatch, I did think the Thor Loki Odin scene was very good. Like
It is.
like Odin acknowledging Loki as his son.
It's always been good.
Yeah, it's always been good, but I
Yeah.
forgot about it. Or I forgot how good it was, rather. And like Loki's face when Odin says that, calls him "you're my son," I thought that was really good.
He makes that face again in the elevator.
Yeah,
Yeah, when Thor,
oh
like,
yeah,
he's
that's
like,
true. I didn't
brother,
catch that. You're right.
he-
Yeah. Okay. Wait, sorry. Not everybody else having non-action.
Ooh, sorry, just I wanna throw something in there. The scene where they reunite and Valkyrie shows that she's captured Loki, and Thor is kind of telling them the snake thing that
The
Loki
snake
did.
thing, yeah.
There's just
Yeah.
there's a smile on Loki's face that it's like, I'm not like it's both he's proud of what he's done, but he's also reminiscent. Like he's
Yeah.
also like it's understated that Loki is also grieving in this movie, and
Yeah.
that scene in the elevator straight after that where Thor essentially puts it to him like, this is who you will always be. There's like in my notes I had it. There's like, is he hesitating? Is he like is he reckoning with the idea that he needs to be a savior now? He needs
I mean,
to
he
grow up.
betrays him
Even
like
if
10 seconds
the
later.
the right next scene he betrays it, but he was
Yeah.
always going to do the betrayal. Like he can't change his mind right there and then. Like
Okay, let's try and run through the rest. MCU peak. So I'll just kind of name them. You can just say yes or no. We won't talk if I feel like there's a need to discuss it. So, Thor, yes or no? MCU peak.
No.
No, for me. Jerry, Ebuka.
It's a tough one.
Ebuka, I'm very surprised you said it's a tough one. I'm actually very surprised about this. You're surprising me a lot.
Why
This
is-
is recorded.
I say yes. I actually say yes. I think
Okay, you
this
say yes.
is
That's fine.
It's
Yeah,
a tough
this is
one.
the
Let's
grounding of the
because
character.
you know it's hard when the movie is all about him and it's his best movie so
Yeah.
far. It's hard for it not to
I-
be his MCU.
I am
peak.
not against you saying yes. I'm not against it. I'm just very surprised.
Okay. I'm 50-50. Let's put it that way.
If we can I ask, if you say no, what is the peak to us?
Well, we might discuss it at a different point, so we won't talk about that now.
fair enough. Okay.
Loki, I have two, very, very quick. I have two. I have Loki MCU films and Loki in the MCU in general. Is this Loki's peak in the MCU films?
No.
Absolutely not.
So
Oh,
so I think
100%.
this is for me this is the peak of the Loki Thor relationship.
Oh, that's
So
a good one. I like that.
That'll be my answer to both those questions.
Okay, I think Loki's peak in the MCU in general is the Loki TV show. But
Yeah.
in terms of films, I mean, I guess it's this or one.
He's not powerful. He doesn't show you that he's powerful here.
Avengers though.
He does his thing a couple times,
Avengers he's a lackey in Avengers.
but he's powerful.
I don't know. Maybe I prefer character more than power. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I prefer, as a writer, I prefer character more than power.
that doesn't work on anybody that you want
okay.
to work on.
Bruce Banner Hulk peak.
No,
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't have an answer. This is what I'm
Mm.
saying, that I feel like we keep missing like important milestones in his development, even down to She-Hulk. Like he just
Yeah,
keeps
but it's
popping up
based-
with
it's based on what
something
we
else.
have.
What we have.
It's based on what we have. I do like something
Yeah.
that Ibuka said.
Yeah.
Sorry to go back
No, that's
and all
fine.
of that. I like the whole dichotomy thing. I think before this point, obviously we knew that there were two of them and they were existing together, but like they would refer to the other guy as the other guy, as like this other entity, as opposed to in this film a lot. Like this is the first, I think, so far that we get Banner talking about what the Hulk likes and doesn't like, and like the Hulk talking about, oh, you're Banner's friend, you're not my friend, and like this and that, and like this thing that's going on between both of them. So like, this is the peak of of the
Of the Bruce Hulk relationship,
Yes,
like Ebuka
the
said.
Bruce Hulk
Okay.
relationship. I don't think it's Bruce's peak. I think I've actually said Bruce's peak before in the previous podcast. Not saying it was, but
I assume it's a movie we're going to talk about very soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think I've also talked about the Hulk's peak. I think they have different peaks, but I think this is the peak of their relationship.
Fair. Okay.
Fair. I like that.
Valkyrie.
Sorry, other people did not. Did you guys answer for Hulk? Oh, you said no. No. Okay.
Wait, because you don't think this is Valkyrie's peak, or this? Are you talking about Hulk?
Valkyrie, but I'm not going to expand on that.
Okay.
I don't know what Valkyrie's peak is. I'm just gonna say that, like, for one, anything Tessa Thompson was going to do, I was already sold. However, I loved the introduction of her character here. Even just seeing her relationship with Hulk and then her relationship with Banner.
So we need to kind of rush through, but I'll just say, like, Valkyrie has appeared in 3 films.
I think I changed my mind. Wait.
Valkyrie has appeared in Thor Ragnarok. 4 films. Endgame. So Thor Ragnarok, Endgame, Thor Love and Thunder, and a cameo in Marvels, I think. She was in Marvels, wasn't she?
She made a cameo, a brief cameo. And that was just a favor to test.
I don't remember her doing much else in the others, which is why it's kind of unfair to decide whether this is a peak.
This is her peak. I'm very surprised.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I don't know what else. But
Heimdall.
I like the relationship.
Is this Heimdall's peak?
For me, yeah.
Yes.
That was the one. That's why I said this will be the last.
So it's Heimdall's peak.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the peak of bad dads in the MCU?
No.
Really?
Talk about the worst dads. There's a whole movie made about how one guy was
I forgot about it when I was making this note. I forgot about Ego. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I forgot about Ego. I forgot about it.
There's also Thanos. There's also Thanos.
There's also Thanos, actually. Yeah, you're right. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. It's funny because when I wrote down Howard and I was like, Howard is not really a bad guy. I just misunderstood. Then I wrote down T'Chaka and I was like, I feel like there are some evil ones I'm missing and I completely forgot the actual evil ones. Bad siblings.
Who else?
Who else do we have?
Oh, Hela. Shit.
Hela.
Yeah. Hela.
Oh, okay.
So is this the peak? I think this is the peak of bad siblings. I mean, maybe Guardians
I'm just
1
trying to
with
think
Nebula.
Yeah, so I was thinking. I was literally thinking about Nebula and Gamora, but then their relationship is weird.
Yeah, and then there's a real person that's like,
care for
there's a
each
bad
other.
father controlling him. So I think it's this one.
Like, there's also a thing where Hela and Thor don't actually know each other. So they probably don't even register each other as siblings beyond Odin tells them they're siblings. So like they can actually just be like enemies.
Actually, pause on that because I have more thoughts on that in a coming category. Run through a wall. I have to
wait. Can I do 2 quick peak ones?
Yeah, wait. Give me a second, Steve. What did you say?
So I said I didn't give my quote. I just realized.
Oh, okay. Say your quotes.
Oh, sorry. It was that's how it feels when they're fighting and then and then Thor beats him the same way and it's like that. Yes, okay. That's how it feels.
You know what? If there was ever a movie for us to be all over the place, it's Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Okay. Ebuka, tell me your peaks.
You know what? I have a hot take, also part of my peaks. I think Hela's theme is the most iconic in the MCU. I'm so sorry. That shit rings in my head. Like, for her, the character, forget the Avengers one, that's a team. For like each character, I think is the number one in the MCU. In fact, the only thing that comes close, T'Challa's one is really sick. That's different, right? Let's say T'Challa's on the same level. But that Hela's theme, oh my God.
I'm not really like, this is not how I listen to music. I don't really know themes like that. So I'll defer to you. I can give it to you if you want. So is your peak of music themes in the MCU?
Of character
themes.
Yes, I think so.
I'll defer to your superior judgment on this. Okay, so run through a wall. Let's just try and be quick. I have 2. My run through a walls are Thor, who, like, again, I liked him Chris Hemsworth, but I did not really care about Thor before this movie. Steve is looking at me like that's some crazy thing to say. I didn't really care about Thor. I'm sorry.
It's facts.
Thor. So my run through a walls are Thor and Valkyrie. Look, it's Tessa Thompson. I would run through a wall even without seeing what she's in. But
well, because I grew up watching all these characters, I would run through for Thor from the first one. I liked him in the first one, and I didn't have to wait 3 movies, 4, 5.
Do you know who else had to wait 5 movies? Chris Hemsworth.
I didn't have to wait 5 movies. And so, who was your second one?
Valkyrie.
Oh,
Tessa.
Yeah, Tessa kind of bad.
Wait, what?
Sorry. My run through wall is Heimdall.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I didn't really think
that's
too much
a good
of
one.
him.
I have a take about Heimdall later. Okay, any other run through walls, guys?
I have two
No, I
different
think-
ones. For me,
Yeah.
Korg and Loki.
Korg.
We haven't talked about Korg.
Korg.
Korg
Yeah.
is the biggest example of Taika's
Yes.
issues between Ragnarok and Love and Thunder. Because he's excellent in Ragnarok,
Yes.
but then he becomes too much in Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Which is the same thing as what happens
I think
to Taika.
that's the entire summary of what you can say about Love and Thunder.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think that's Taika generally
Yeah.
in life. Like not just in the MCU.
And life is crazy.
That's what happened
Does
to
this
him.
guy owe you money?
No, he doesn't.
Because like you keep
he's in the bio of my letterbox. I really love Taika. Like that's a big guy for me. But like how do we go from Jojo Rabbit to Free Guy? Like
he didn't do Free Guy. He acted in Free
Hey,
Guy.
yes,
wait,
but
I
you know
like
what I
Free
mean.
Guy.
I like Free Guy
I
too. I
like
give it
Free
a
Guy.
5-star.
You give
I
me
like the
a
Free
5-star
Guy movies.
review.
You gave it a 5-star. Okay, first.
What's your second one, Ebuka?
I said Loki.
Oh. I think I was
Yes,
on Loki earlier. I think I was on Loki.
But that's because
earlier.
you like Tom Hiddleston as an actor before.
That's probably that's very true.
MCU.
That's
I
very
think my
true.
run through a wall for Loki comes from the Loki series itself, like absolutely from now on. But
Fair.
I think when
Fair.
I was thinking about it here, before I even looked at the categories, I had Tessa Thompson and then obviously Valkyrie. But before Valkyrie was Valkyrie, like I would have come in anyway because it was Tessa Thompson. However, Valkyrie, same reasons as Banky, and then Thor, same reasons as Banky. It's not that I didn't care for Thor. The first one was cool, but like I didn't care to rewatch
was
it
a guy.
over and over again. I
It
had
was a guy.
yeah, and then the
guys are
second
objectively
one,
wrong. I
the
don't know why
second
you
one
can't see that.
sucked.
Wait, I don't know. Okay, wait.
Literally wrong.
But like you make it seem like people loved Thor
I
before
don't think
this
people
movie.
loved him, but I don't think anyone waited this long after 2 Avengers films, right? Was it 2?
What did he do in those films?
I just
but
don't think
in
people
those
waited
movies
this
he
long.
was eye candy. Like he
But
was
like, what did he do in
good,
those
but
films?
like
His best scene in
I'm
Age of
so-
Ultron is on the
And they
is
made
on the
him
deleted
dumb.
scenes.
Dumb characters are annoying.
I know they limited him. I said that in my spiel, but I don't think people waited. Like it was this film that turned the tide on Thor generally.
I think it kind of was.
I think it's well documented that it is.
wow.
This is actually one of the things I find with this particular movie is that there's a division. There's people who feel like they are core Thor enthusiasts who love Thor 1 and they love everything about the Asgard and Thor mythos, and they hate this movie because they feel like Taika kind of dumbed it down or stripped away this or like brought it. I don't know. Yeah, there might be, I don't know like all of Steve's reasons, but I find that to be consistent with a lot of people who seem to hate this movie and prefer 1. Whereas for me, I feel like those themes are still there. I feel like it does the best of both worlds, does good service to its place in like the MCU saga and blah, blah, blah. But I do agree. I do think people didn't, it's not like people didn't care about Thor. It's just like there was Iron Man and there was Captain America. You had to pick your camp. And then Thor
this
was this
actually-
other guy
You know what?
that we didn't
Jerry, let's move on.
realize.
I just
Jerry.
realized something.
Yeah.
I just realized
Jerry.
something, and I just realized
Jerry.
why Steve has this take.
You what?
Ebuka, I think you realized something I realized at the exact same time. And I just realized why Steve has this take, and I'm just like, I was feeling sad. I was feeling like apologetic for him being annoyed at my take, but now I just realized why he has this take, and you know what? Fuck you. This leads me to my next point, and I'm just gonna ask just give me one word answers. One
Okay,
word,
okay.
no explanation. Is this movie underappreciated, overappreciated, appreciated just right? Steve, let me start with you.
Just right.
Ibuka was yours.
Just right.
Jerry was yours.
I say under.
I say
Ooh.
under.
Under.
Nice. Okay.
I think
So-
post
I'm not
Love and
mad at
Thunder,
it.
people are harshly going back to review this movie.
Fair,
Thunder.
fair,
Fair.
Yeah,
fair,
that's
fair.
exactly how I feel.
That's true.
If you're
I'm
giving
one
me
of
more
them.
words, I was gonna say because of Love and Thunder, I feel like this movie is underappreciated.
Can I change the answer?
That's
'Cause you're
exactly
right.
it.
I think it's underappreciated.
It's not competition. But okay, yeah, you're on my side now.
I think
So there was something you mentioned that I was going to bring specifically when we brought up this category. So I was very sad when you
Mhm.
said one word. But I do think like when this movie was as successful as it was, everyone
800 million.
overstated the importance of the
800?
comedy, and Taika kind of leaned to like someone said something about balance in this film between the seriousness and the comedy, and that was perfect.
I
The
said that.
balance in this
Robert
film
said
was
it, but I said
perfect.
it first.
But as soon as this movie was as successful as it was, everyone overestimated the comedy, and then he leaned too much of that comedy in Love and
Exactly.
Thunder. and we
Yeah,
have
100%.
we
That's
have
what we're
today.
saying. Like
Every film.
he went in too much on one thing.
Yeah, and then people now reacted by underappreciating this film.
Yeah, film specific superlatives. I have a few, so I want to try and be quick as possible. Because do you have any?
I can defer to you because I don't have any.
Yeah,
Okay,
I can.
I
I have
will-
one, but I'll defer
I think
to
if
you
you
as well.
ask questions, I can think of the answer.
Okay, I guess I'll just run through mine. So mine is something that we spoke about in the Iron Man pod. It was the most indelible MCU needle drops. My picks back then were Back in Black for Iron Man, obviously, Hooked on the Feeling for Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and Immigrant Song for Ragnarok. I should say that I didn't say this earlier because I was going to get here, but one of my best action scenes is the start of the film, just because of Immigrant
Same.
Song. I think
Same.
the use of
Same.
Immigrant Song is so incredibly like, how did it take so long for someone to think about it? And like, how did Taika, like, the words work, the music makes you energized. I do think I might have this over Hooked on the Feeling. I might. I know
It's one of my
that's from the
favorite
Tabuka.
opening scenes in the MCU period. Even if I'm middling on wanting to watch Thor Ragnarok, as soon as
You
I
just
hit
watch the
play
opening
and
scene.
the first scene starts,
Mm.
I'm locked in for the film. It's one of my favorite
But I'm
openings
guessing
in
Hooked on the
MCU.
Feeling is still your best needle drop.
Yeah.
Because it's you.
Like,
It's
I think Guardians has like 5 of my top 5 noodle
you're
drops.
basically an honorary guardian. Okay, let me run through the rest. My next award is the Connor stroke Kendall Roy. I'm the eldest boy award to Thor for getting a surprise sibling at 1500 years old. But also in a family of Loki, Hela, and Odin, are we sure Thor is not the adopted one?
I'm crying.
Are we sure Thor is not the
That is
adopted one?
a fantastic point.
That's a tremendous point.
Okay, so my next award is the Oppenheimer in the first 15 minutes of Oppenheimer award, where he's going around being inspired by art, which goes to Taika Waititi for his depiction of the Valkyries' fight against Hela. Because boy, that was just like he saw an art piece in a museum. I was like, that's what I'm doing, man. Like
I'm
call
stealing
this
Yeah.
DP is like I'm stealing that. Okay,
was
I
good. It was good.
really like this award. The Loki doesn't know award to Matt Damon. I believe Matt Damon is our best cameo actor that we have. This is like a stance I'm going to
Yes.
stand on. I think he's in this cameo here, which he plays Loki in the play, is in my top 3 of his best cameos in a very long, illustrious list. This is the third. Interstellar is second. Boy, when Interstellar
Is that
hit
a cameo?
cinemas, guys, we did not know that guy was in the movie. Like throughout the entire movie, they're like hiding his face, and then he appears in the cryo chamber. Like boys are like, "What?"
Yeah, but is that a cameo?
Yeah, it's a cameo. He's in the movie for like 5 minutes, if that's 10.
I
think
feel like
11.
I feel like it's a.
You think
That's
11.
How do you just
This nigga has a
how did you
specific
just- sorry, how did you just know exactly what to
I don't know if it's exact.
Can you guys guess my number one? The
Of
hint is
Matt
that
Damon?
yes, the hint is that it's in the title of this award. Come on, guys, please don't
what
do
was
this
the
to
award
me.
again? What was the name of the award again?
Okay, so the number one
Loki doesn't know.
The number one cameo goes to his performance of Scotty Doesn't Know in Eurotrip.
I've never seen that.
I have no
I've
idea
never
what that
seen
is.
that.
Oh my
No clue.
god.
I've never
Right
seen
now, bro.
that. Sorry.
No clue.
Jesse,
No idea.
producer Jesse, have you seen Eurotrip, the movie? Eurotrip.
Thank
Do
you.
you know the song?
Thank you making
Scotty
up
doesn't
movies.
know. Scotty doesn't know.
Thank you making up movies.
No,
dog.
what the
Oh
hell are
my
you talking
God.
about, man?
Sorry, bro.
You guys have never heard Scotty doesn't
You
know.
making up stuff.
No.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
If you've heard Scotty doesn't know, say you've heard it in the comments. My next award, engagement farming. My best award is, and if you know this references award, then please DM me because I think we're meant to be soulmates. It's the Bill Simmons There Are No More American Movie Stars Award to this cast. Last month, Ebuka was talking
There are
about
what?
American movie stars. Ebuka was talking about No Way Home, how there were like 10,000 British actors. And in this movie, there are 10,000 plus one Australian actors. So it's like,
Oh.
this cast has like maybe
Oh,
two
yeah.
Americans in the entire cast.
I thought about that while watching it. Like, is there something about Asgard that makes it be British or British accent?
Well, I mean, you want to go into this is
Okay,
history of
I
movies.
will
Like,
just say there is the idea of Asgard staying in that whole medieval. Like, if they're gonna hamp on colonization and imperial, it makes sense that Asgard stays in that image of
You're cooking. You're
Middle
cooking.
Age,
I agree.
medieval Europe.
You know what? Say less. I hear you.
I mean, also they're shooting in Australia.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
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 I can't believe you guys don't know Eurotrip and
My
Scotty doesn't.
only one.
This is
I thought
kind
we
of
were going to say
killing
my
me.
superlative, so I was just going to
Let's say
say.
yours. I still have a couple more.
I didn't really do research on it, so I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I kind of really don't care. But the Black Panther Award for film where the guy's getting his ass beat and then he goes to visit your dead father in a moment of weakness and then he gains
Right.
he gains super strength to come back and
Yeah,
fight and
That's
win.
fair. I like that. That's fair.
I love that.
That's really good, actually. I like that. My next award is you guys don't know Eurotrip. That's crazy. My next award is the Walton Goggins in Ant-Man and the Wasp. We didn't know how big you were going to be award to the casting of Idris Elba as Heimdall in 2011. Because Kevin Feige is like, fuck, we could have got this guy in a bigger role. Like they're like, oh shit, we're stuck with this guy being Heimdall for the next, like we could have got Idris Elba in a bigger role.
Yeah.
I did wonder about that, like having Matt Damon in just that cameo, like would he just never be in a big MCU role? Like maybe
Matt Damon is not doing a big MCU film. Like I don't think anybody needs to worry about that.
You can say that about so many of the actors that have turned up in the MCU so far.
Jerry, you could have said that about Kate.
No, Kate was in Lord of the Rings. She does things like this. I mean, Matt Damon
Christian Bale
does these cameos for fun. Like he was in the cameo in Deadpool 2, I think. Like he's one of our best cameo actors. My final award is the oh shit, that's right, you are Kate Blanchett award to Kate Blanchett for being excellent throughout this entire fucking film. I was just like, oh yeah, you're right, that's right. You know how to do this thing. Like she's one of our best.
You know how he said he locked in at the shooter scene?
Yeah.
I locked in when she when she came on.
She's doing a rare thing that like I don't think a lot of MCU, especially villains, get to do, especially with the big actors. She's simultaneously having a lot of fun and also being like entirely very serious. Like you can tell that she's not taking this role as a joke.
Yeah.
Like she's doing it but also having so much fun
while doing it. Yeah.
That's my last award. And it has scarred me knowing that nobody in a room full of 5 people, nobody knows Eurotrip.
You can say it like many more times, but if you made it up, we're not gonna know.
Like
what
it won't
is.
change anything.
It scarred it up, and I sang on the podcast. I have to cut that out. Okay. Before as we normally do before we wrap up, Jerry, I ask this question to every guest. And you tell me the number first before you're allowed to say anything else. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hopeful are you for Doomsday?
In terms of excitement, 8.
That's not the question. That's not the question. The question is how hopeful.
I know. I'm coming to your answer.
You have to give the number first.
You have to give the number. You just have to, and then we can talk.
I want to say like 7, maybe 6.5.
Okay.
7. Okay.
Okay, we're doing good.
We're good. 7 is good. Yeah.
We're good,
yeah.
yes.
No one has been lower than 3. Or was it 2? What did you say?
I don't really count that one. Angel, I don't really count that one in my head. I can't lie.
What?
Angel was like, "Fuck your
you know
Steve
what it is?
But yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It would be higher if I didn't, because I re-listened to you guys' the one what was number 12 again?
Thunderbolts.
Yes, I listened to you guys again, and I think it was Steve that was going into everything that the Russo brothers have done since, and I was like, oh, he's actually making sense. Like these guys might actually not have it anymore.
No. Steve was everything they've done before. I was everything they've done since.
Yeah, so like the more you guys were talking, I was like, oh shit.
Oh, so
7
is you coming down.
Is him coming down?
Ooh.
I mean, I was at an 8 before, is my point. I was at an 8. I was at an 8 overall. I felt like I didn't want to be too much because it can still be disappointing. I don't share the idea of casting RDJ is a bad idea. I think I've been paying attention to a theory that I think will make sense, but we'll see how that plays out. And then I like the direction that I think the MCU has been low-key going in. It depends. We'll see if that pans out. But that would also determine that will also determine whether or not I like the movie that does come up. But in terms of, do I trust them not to oversell their aura moments and be overly comedic and play down certain characters that actually make sure we deliver a strong film with nice layered stories and well-written characters? The more I think about that, I'm like, well, damn, like maybe it should come down to 6.
Can I say something? One very funny thing is that, listen, guys, we can do the whole cinema purist, drama, story over power thing. If the MCU want to do 3 hours of aura moments with X-Men fighting Spider-Man and Doctor Doom blowing up the planet, that movie will make $2 billion
I was
and
just
nobody
like,
will say
what do
anything.
you mean by
It will, it
downplaying the
will.
aura? Did you see how people reacted to Scott Summers fighting a sentinel? Like, niggas are
Bro,
ready. What are we doing?
I don't even care. If they want to, they absolutely will. Nothing stopping
Yeah,
Feige.
but-
I will watch
Yeah,
it.
but then 5 years later, we'll be saying that was actually not as good a film as it could have been.
Well, look, not to like I think as we said every episode, they've shown that they can balance it, right?
Yeah.
Like it has the Infinity War has the aura of Thor doing show me Thanos, or bring me Thanos and everything else. I would say, as we wrap up, in line with this movie that we've just discussed, maybe we can assume or we can hope that the Grey Man, Electric State, maybe even the one with Tom Holland.
Bro, it's so funny when you hear them out loud.
The one with Tom Holland, the War one, Cherry.
No,
The
not
one
too
with-
much on Cherry.
No, I haven't seen them. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying those. Maybe we can assume that was them being punched by Hela, and now they've gone to your category. They've gone to the afterlife to meet their father, who will hopefully give them more power. So,
Yeah,
we
it
can wrap
could
up
be,
there. Jerry's at his
one
7.
for them, one for us. Even if this is for
Well,
They did
I don't
many
know.
for them.
Yeah, they did.
They did very
They was fine. They was
for us.
fine.
They did many for us. Please.
No, this was so Jerry's at his 7 for Doomsday. That was really good. Thank you very much to everybody. This was for. Do we have any negatives on Ragnarok that we want to mention now? I feel like I don't know if we.
Negatives.
I feel like we mentioned some, but is there anything that just because
I think
We
I
should
like
have
that.
we should have
I-
shaken Taika's hand and thanked him for it, and then given Love and Thunder to someone else.
Oh, I should say that I do think.
How do
sorry,
you? But when someone has succeeded, like they're gonna give him the next. one.
yeah, I should say that I don't think like I do think that like I did mention it earlier, but I do think that what Taika does with Ragnarok and Thor, like Infinity War is a very different movie if we don't have the Thor from Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I should mention
From
that earlier. I don't want to talk
Ragnarok.
about
I
it
agree.
too many times. Like if we went with the normal Thor
Yeah.
that Steve loves, I think Infinity War. I'm joking. I think Infinity War would have been a different movie. So I do think like Taika has done
I
a lot
agree.
to help us. It's just that unfortunately
Exactly.
his last one wasn't
Yeah.
one that we would think about going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. And I started Infinity War. Like I wasn't going to watch it. I just started the first, because that's where it starts.
mhm.
And I'm like, wow, it really does like transition.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's tonal differences because different,
Mhm.
not even directors, because difference in like whoever's lighting it, it's just very
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different film.
Even the
Yeah,
even
different
the
film,
score,
but
even
I like
the
that.
score and the soundtrack, completely different.
completely
yeah.
different.
I
Yeah,
don't know
but
if
it's a very
this
good
will-
setup. Like
Mhm.
you can see
Yeah.
why Thor feels the way he feels about the
Yeah.
things that are happening. You can see why Hulk is acting. Like if we have someone else setting it up, like I don't think Loki is going to risk.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I think this is just me kind of like, look, my main thing is that I've never liked the fact that people look back on Ragnarok as being bad because of how bad Love and Thunder is. I'm just like,
I mean,
I'm like-
some people don't think Love and Thunder is that bad.
true.
Yeah.
True.
Some of them are on this podcast.
Some of them have entire episodes on this podcast feed doing it. So you can search Love and Thunder monologue. Let's wrap up there. Guys, thank you very much for listening.
if we're gonna wrap up, there's one question I have. We don't have to answer. We can just wrap up on it. But like,
Yeah.
when we finished the movie and I saw like the post-credit scene where Thanos shows up, I was just thinking like, you know how we had to have the scene where Loki goes to the vault, takes the Tesseract, Thanos gets the Tesseract from Loki. Let's imagine a world where Loki didn't take the Tesseract. What happens to Infinity War? Like, because Thanos doesn't have the time stone. Does the Tesseract get destroyed with Asgard? And
I don't think I'm destroyed.
I don't think so. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I thought about
If anything,
that.
it would be easier for him to find. Because it'll just
yeah,
be
is he just
floating
going
in
to be
space.
hanging in space and he just picks it
Yeah.
up?
It'll be easier
Or
for him to
Thor
find.
will
Then
seem like-
that's another mission for Peter Quill. Something else for him to go and retrieve. Go and
I
find
mean,
the
like, I'm just
Tesseract.
wondering how different the movie could have been if Thanos had to keep on like just killing people half, and then Thor and Hulk had more time on Earth, and
The real honest answer is that the movie would start with him already having the Tesseract. That's the real filmmaking answer. The same way he already has the... What does he have when the movie starts?
Yeah.
Time?
Power.
Power. Yeah, so he got it from
Yeah.
Xander.
he has the Power
Okay.
Stone. So like, yeah,
Guys, thank you very much for listening. What have we gained from this episode? We like Ragnarok. We think the swings were worth it. Steve loved Thor even before this movie.
Just one or just the first
No,
one.
as in the character. Thor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He
you
has
loved-
to specify.
I'm not putting that on you. Don't worry. I may be a bad
Yeah.
co-host. But I'm not evil.
Okay.
So Steve loved Thor before this movie. We are all anti-imperialists,
Mhm.
and you guys don't know. Scotty doesn't know. I think that's the wrap up there. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Join us next month when we'll be talking about number 8 on MCU 12 with Oscar winner, BAFTA winner, MCU star, Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, I need to report Steve, just so you know. Steve said there are a couple of
Okay.
movies, you know them. There are a couple of movies that we have on this list that like Steve is like somehow on like this island and doesn't think they're good or whatever. He basically said that even when he goes back to rewatch them, even if he
Mhm.
realizes that like they're basically good fellas, he's going to maintain his original stance. So I'm just
Maintaining the agenda is
I'm just
our
letting
number
you
one
know.
priority.
For when we get to those episodes, I just want you to know that that's kind of the vibe. That's the energy we're dealing with. I won't say what those
Okay.
movies are,
This-
but like you know what they are.
Ibuka, obviously, you know I'm a level-headed, reasonable person. The only reason why I said that is because I don't think my opinions will change
Will
when I see
change,
those
okay.
films.
That was not the
Exactly.
reason he said it.
That's why I said
Because we're talking
it.
about something else.
I speak what I believe, and that's the truth only. So sorry that my idea of reality doesn't fit into what you would like for me to fit. But yeah, no.
You know, I love this. The thing is, no one would love to be with you more than me, Steve, honestly. It must be such a rush being against everybody.
Yeah, like
I've had
terrible.
that feeling. I had that feeling with a couple movies this year, and it's nice, trust me.
I mean, he had that feeling.
Sometimes I scroll through
With Thor, Love and
Letterboxd and just
Thunder.
get angry by seeing
Yeah.
how much other people like the film.
Yeah, famously, he did a whole monologue about Love and Thunder. So, but I'm sure we'll talk about that in this episode.
I hope we get to that. I
Um,
hope- Wait, what do you mean? Kaluuya's our guest?
No. Have you never listened to an episode of this podcast?
No.